What is going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Playing some operation campaigns today on Galatia using the Russian armored vehicle. Tend to use this vehicle a lot on this map, mainly because it's really open for me. I don't get stuck and jammed up a lot, as if anyone knows, the Russian armored vehicle is not the most agile vehicle to use. Do really well this game though. I go 52-0, so a very solid game. As I'm pushing over here to the side, want to take out that AA gun, but I'm getting distracted here by this artillery truck that's going to be rolling on by here. But yeah, definitely trying to take out the AA gun. In previous past games on this map, I've definitely been punished a little bit from the air support, so trying to give my teammates some help out with that. Still on the grind for unlocking the Russian axe, as that's the new melee piece that has shown up recently in the operations campaigns exclusive battle packs. My first two battle packs I opened up, I didn't get a puzzle piece at all and was a little bit nervous if DICE has gone back to the original rate of puzzle pieces showing up in your operations campaigns battle packs, where virtually it was almost impossible to find something in there. But my third battle pack I opened up, I got a piece, so no really word on DICE off of what they're doing here with the rate. Personally, my opinion still stays the same, where I wish they would get rid of the RNG fest. Having a certain amount of points you have to obtain to unlock a puzzle piece makes more sense to me, but you know, that's just how DICE is doing it right now. I think what I don't like the most, actually, even worse than the RNG fest of the battle packs, is having that daily limit on there. I think the daily limit annoys me the most. Now, I do think I understand where DICE is coming from here. I think they're trying to kind of prolong these battle packs with the melee weapons in there, and they kind of want it to be, you know, a slow series, not have everyone rush in and get the points up really quick and, you know, be able to get the, you know, puzzle pieces to unlock the melee weapon. They want to, you know, have it over a period of months, I guess. You know, it seems like Operation Campaign's been out for months now, and we finally just finished up the other two melee pieces that I think are still in the Operation Campaign's battle packs right now, but now they just recently added the Russian axe. But I think another solution how they can handle that is just put a lot of points you have to accumulate, so I have an idea of, you know, my progression. You know, that causes me to maybe squeeze out a game or two more when I realize, oh, you know, I might be only a certain amount of points left for me getting, you know, one puzzle piece, and I might, you know, want to grind out an extra game there. But when it's an RNG fest, it just makes me be like, ugh. And then the daily limit makes me even go, like, why? You know, so it's just something I think would do better if they had like a certain amount of points you have to accumulate. And if they want to prolong it, you know, then add, you know, like 1,000,000 points or do something really crazy. I'd rather it be something crazy with the amount of points you have to accumulate than having no real clue, you know, if I'm going to be able to get a, you know, puzzle piece of my battle pack. I'd rather have more control over it than it being an RNG fest. So my thoughts still stay the same on that. But just as lately, I've been kind of realizing, man, that daily limit kind of annoys me. But we're going to be able to push up here from the first sector. It's basically stayed on the left side there the whole time. It's just, again, trying to take out that AA gun. I don't know how much that helped the air support, but yeah, holding off on the left side right there. Swapping from the machine gun to the shells that come out of the armored truck. I think this might actually be my most favorite vehicle on Battlefield 1, as I almost get stuck here knowing that I shouldn't have been creeping up so slowly with this vehicle, as you're just asking to get stuck in some type of trench or crater in the ground, as I'm doing it again right here. But I'm trying to get in a good position and get myself up here to the side and, you know, just get myself posted up here and take out some of the enemy players. But like I was saying, I think this might actually be my most favorite vehicle on Battlefield 1, just because of having those shells that really do solid damage on enemy vehicles, but being able to swap to the light machine gun on this vehicle, and then on top of that, the heavy armor that this vehicle has. I think this total sum of all of that just really, I don't know, makes it a solid vehicle. I think they try to balance it off by having the movement being terrible. But I mean, after a while, it's not really all too bad. you just can't be lazy with it and put yourself in situations where you're gonna get, you know, stuck on some type of crater in the ground or something like that. And if you post yourself up to where if the enemy players are shooting you with an AT rocket gun, if they hit the front of me right here, that's where the most armor I have on this vehicle here. So if they shoot me in the back, that's my weakest place. So I want to avoid that as much as I can. So it works out nice if you need to swap to the other driver's seat and you're driving, you know, off, trying to get away from the enemy players, and they shoot you in the now what would be the back side of your vehicle. That's where the strongest armor is going to be at. So that's what I was doing a lot this game, and they really just didn't have much of an answer for it. Now I'm going to get myself in a little bit of a kind of dicey situation right there. I thought I was going to take that player out quicker than what I did, but turns out I'm somewhat okay. Then they start hitting me with their mortars, which always seems to happen when I'm in the vehicle. So I'm just going to drive out there completely and just try to avoid all that. Get my health back up, get back into the action again. I'm going to be able to restore my health, but I'm going to end up getting stuck up here in a little bit on a crater. I'm going to be there for, I don't know how long. Not too long, but long enough where I'm throwing heavy tank grenades down, trying to create another crater on the ground to get myself out, but I end up actually swapping seats and slowly just working my way out of this death crater right here. Again, it's been a while since I've been in vehicles, and you got to be driving fast when you're in this. You can't be kind of creeping up, as I'm just going to be just perfect. And yeah, I was there for longer than I wanted to be. The nice thing is, through the magic of video editing, we can just skip that whole part where I was just in there. Yeah, I hate that so much. Just hate it. I've like jumped in between whether or not to like plead for dice to get these off the map, but I realized it's kind of part of the game, and it adds that effect to, you know, different things you kind of have to watch out for when using vehicles. Like really most of the vehicles that are available on Galatia, even the artillery truck, you find so many times getting stuck. You'll just see an abandoned artillery truck on so many different places, but actually the artillery truck is much easier to get out. You can just shoot your, you know, shell out of the cannon there and shake your vehicle and move it side to side, and I get myself out of the armored or the artillery truck much easier than I do this vehicle right here. But able to save it, which was nice because it was doing pretty well. They're having a hard time really handling me, and I think again though the only hard time I have with the tanks, given that it is my second most played class in the whole Battlefield game, the assault class being the first, and that is I'm just not able to still get on the objective enough, especially a tank like this. It's just not going to work. I mean, I could kind of move around maybe a little bit better than I would the artillery truck, but you know, still it's not a tank that's meant to be on the territory, especially not coming up here at the third sector. There might be other areas that might be a little easier to get on, but it just doesn't work out too well. So maybe I haven't played enough with it. Still, I'm sure there's some pretty top level tank gameplay where people definitely know how to get on and maximize you know, some things of the tank better than I could, but just how I play just initially, and having still a, you know, top percentage on playing with the tanks, I don't know, sometimes get on that territory can be such a pain. So definitely want to do my best to get on the territory, as that's usually really my big thing. I always want to be on territory as best as I can, and unfortunately, you know, the tank gameplay makes it a bit difficult. I'll have a really good KD this game, but man, if I would have lost, it's something I'd be like, I'd rather go like 52-5 and win the game than go 52-0 and lose it. So I'm gonna post up here on the side. One thing I realized more and more though is, especially on operations and on a map like this, where getting over there to this sector with that open field can be a pain, being able to give your teammates a good squad spawn, or just anyone in general can spawn in my vehicle, definitely helps it out a lot. So I was doing this on purpose here, just trying to give squad spawns and then slowly work my way up the trench, catching the players on the side to the left that are going to be pushing up to the territory, and because I knew that's where they're going to spawn way back there. So I was trying to pick them off as I was slowly working my way up, and that was kind of the strat that I was doing here. I think it's like maybe the couple times I've done this, maybe like once before, but yeah, I haven't done this too often. As I said, I haven't been playing much of the tanker class as of late, so yeah, I was just trying this out, seeing again if this would, you know, give my team a little bit of an edge, because I definitely know the struggles of playing as the infantry class and trying to push my way up, you know, to this flag right here. So trying to get a little bit of an angle on them. They're going to push me back a couple times, so it's going to be a bit of a battle right here, but for the most part, going to able to, you know, keep my life and be effective even though I'm not on the territory. If I'm not going to be on the territory, I at least want to do something effective and not just, you know, get kills. As much as that's fun, don't get me wrong, I am like to have, you know, some type of effectiveness in the game. So those mortar shells are coming in hard right now, so I'm going to move all the way back. Like I said earlier, always seems to happen where the enemy players realize, you know, that the tanker class is here and they're putting some mortar shell shots on me. I always get surprised that, especially looking on this map where I saw a lot of players using, you know, the scout class, because you could see that reflection of light on their scope, that there's not enough cables get shot at me. I'm just kind of always get surprised by that I don't see enough scout classes that use that cable and just shoot a shot at me, see where my health is at, and if it's low, then, you know, keep shooting at me, so it takes me forever to repair myself. So I always get a little surprised that doesn't happen. Was kind of watching out for the tank hunter class, but I think he only puts one shot on me, so that was a bit of a surprise. Definitely was expecting to go through a little bit more of a trial having that tank hunter class being able to spawn right up there over that little hill. But yeah, he only just puts one shot on me, and yeah, it didn't really have an effect really after that. So I guess that's the reason why I did as well as I did, because I'm sure if that tank hunter really wanted to get me, I was playing somewhat aggressive out over here, and, you know, a couple solid shots, especially to my side, I would have been in trouble. So I'm gonna try to pick off this player right here. Always love being able to throw those grenades out of this vehicle. I find that handy at times when, you know, especially when you're trying to, you know, fire your main weapon on this vehicle. It isn't as maneuverable as the machine gun that you have. So, you know, trying to get in those weird spots just makes it kind of, you know, when someone's just behind a rock or something like that, it makes it a little bit of a pain. So being able to throw my, you know, grenade over there, I don't know, always seems to, I don't know, I always get a kick out of it still to this day after hearing the guy, you know, come out, just have that grunting noise as he pops his, you know, that little lid open on the top. I don't know, it's always fun, and it is a nice little weapon I do sometimes get kills off of, so it's always nice having that little perk that's there. But gonna come back around again and try to put some type of damage over here on the side. I realize our reinforcements are beginning to dwindle down, so definitely want to see if I can make something happen here. Almost about to get to the place of actually just getting right onto the capture zone and see if that will help. Right when that happens, though, the tank hunter puts a shot onto me, and I was waiting for that, so expecting it to be much more aggressive. Even when I pull all the way back out over here, I was expecting to at least experience another shot. Turns out that's not going to be the case, so that was a bit surprising, like I was saying there a second ago, as I'm kind of checking the score screen to see, you know, who has a tanker, you know, class, and seeing what their score is, and you get some information from that as well. So yeah, it was only like, I think, one shot. That might have been a second shot there. I'm not sure if that's the case. I think that was an AT rocket gun, but that's like the worst of the damage that had happened from that. So yeah, again, that was what I wasn't expecting. I was expecting a little bit more aggression from that player, but yeah, we you know, didn't really have to deal with that after this, even though it did push me back here a little bit. So that was probably what kind of prevented us from being able to cap it on this push right here. So we're gonna fast forward ahead and get to our second attempt to push up here, but this time I'm gonna go again right to the same spot, play a little bit more aggressive to try to pick off those players from pushing up towards A. Again, a little bit distracted from that tank hunter class. Wasn't sure what he was gonna do, but once I realized they're really not utilizing the elite class, I'm fairly certain I'm gonna be okay coming up here. So a couple players there laying down in the trenches, but gonna post up here. Love using this light machine gun. I understand why some people like using the whatever it is, the howitzer tank for the light tanker class, because you have that machine gun that's there. But sometimes I don't like the cannon on that tank, even though it's a beast. Sometimes I just don't like the precision of it, and I like having some you know, precise shots when I'm using my main weapon here. So that's what I was trying to do a little bit on the side, as a lot of my teammates are spawning down there, and I'm going to put some solid shots down a little bit where on the right there, as I'm going to be able to post up right here at the front, prevent any players from really pushing up through the trench right here, but also that trench alleyway to my right. I was definitely trying to put some solid shots there, and I was just, you know, doing damage to enemy players, even though I'm going to get a good chunk right here. That was solid, like 1 or 2, but you know, 3, not too bad, something like that. But that, yeah, that's what was the idea what I wanted there. Now they're really trying to push at me, but man, that one there actually caught me off guard that we weren't able to cap that. I felt pretty confident that we were going to be okay there. A lot of it today where players were really trying to, you can sense they were trying to take me out. That's a little bit of some AT rocket guns that are really trying to focus on me, especially when you see someone who has no deaths. I always know, like, there comes that moment in the game where you know a few players, at least one, realizes that, and his sole mission is to make sure to take you out. So it does make it more challenging, and that's where I always get kind of torn in between, like, what I'm doing here, because, yeah, like I said earlier, like, a KD is nice, but man, if it pushes me all the way back where I can't help my teammates out, I'm always like, man, forget it. I'd rather just die. Let me go to my assault class so I can do something to help my teammates out. You know, I'm only would be kind of interested in kind of playing a little more conservative if I'm having like my PR kill streak and I'm going like 100-0. Then I might, you know, kind of watch it a little bit. But that also may, you know, not legitimize the kill streak as much if you're, you know, playing back and you're not really going after it. So I always kind of have to weigh those things out, because you know, you don't want to be that player who just stays in the back, you know, just trying to get the KD up, and you're not really helping your teammates out. So but in this situation right here, just trying to play smart. I didn't need to lose my tank if I don't have to. Trying to just put some damage on those players, have just enough where my cannon can you know, put some damage inside the trenches there. Now this is going to be a better push, as we've got teammates all on the territory, and we're looking pretty good as no one's able to push up from here. So that definitely worked out well. Now this is what I was talking about a little bit ago, where I was seeing scout classes with their, you know, glint in their sniper scope, and I'm just gonna, you know, I think I'm gonna pick off, I'm gonna get one player across the map. I think I'm gonna get another one up here in a second. It just gives them away, and I was just surprised I wasn't getting more K bullets on me, especially when I'm weak. So it was just surprising that more people aren't using that, and it's putting a shot on me. You know, just considering there's so many scout classes in the game, especially on this game mode here. There were a lot of scout classes today, but it turns out it wasn't the case really. And yeah, I was able to pick one off across the map. I was trying to go for one really far away, wasn't able to do it. Gave up on it quick and just started moving out past the river here. But feel free to let me know how your guys' rate is on unlocking those Russian axe puzzle pieces. Still, again, no word from DICE if what the like rate is to unlocking these in the battle packs is. Again, is it back to how it was before, or is it you know, been improved a little bit where it's more reasonable? Would be curious to hear how you guys are doing with unlocking those pieces. Again, I've opened up 3. I just unlocked the last one. I had 1 piece in there, so that is promising. So hopefully you know, there is somewhat of something reasonable for me to be able to unlock that axe, because ever since I saw the axe come out for, I think, Turning Tides, I've been wanting to get it. So it would be cool to be able to get that axe. As gonna post up over here and lay more shots down. Interesting kind of looking at it now. I feel like I'm using more of the light machine gun than I am the actual cannon itself. Didn't have to deal with too much of the enemy player's tanks at all, and I guess that probably is the case right there. No real problem with the heavy bomber on this map today. I'm always still keeping my eye out to making sure I don't have one of those games again where the enemy player goes on, you know, 500 kills on me or something like that. Yeah, I'm trying to always make sure that never happens to me again. So trying to catch that early on. Of course, we're on the attacking side, so I don't have that much of an issue. But when playing on the defending side lately, I've been definitely watching it out for that. But I think for at least for the heavy bomber, again, my position still kind of stays the same. Where after reevaluating it, realizing how it just doesn't move really well at all, and you can easily take it out, that if you really just focus on it and make sure to respect it, I mean, there's no reason why the heavy bomber should dominate you like crazy, even on maps that do tend to favor the pilot classes a little bit more, like Galatia or Fort Feo. It's just really when you don't respect it, that's when it punishes you. If you respect it, I think you'll be okay. So try to pull away there a little bit because they were really going at me and pulled back. I thought I was going to have to rotate all the way around to the other flag, but teammates did well, held their own. Didn't get the MVP, a little bit lower in score than I would have wanted. Like I said, hard for me to get on the territory, but solid game. Felt like I helped my team out somewhat, so not all too bad. But that is using the Russian armored vehicle again. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, I always appreciate you guys being here. I'm Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later. Peace.